just gonna die. Yeah, boy. I think it's one of the days where I need to have the ring light on. Nice, nice. Yeah. How are you guys doing? Embarrassingly enough, yesterday, I did not do my script. I purposely did not read for a while because I had the script to do, and I didn't do it. Instead, I did it this morning. I just finished, and but I'm gonna make up for it, and we're gonna read to you today. We're gonna read so well, so good. We're not gonna make mistakes. And also just easier to answer you here, Yumi. Also, yeah, boy, I Amber. It's easier to answer you here, Yumi. I imagine you can hear me. But no, I'm not. Well, technically, yes, changing possible plans. But it's definitely like one of those things that I was like, we could do it today. Or we could do it Friday, and like we also could do it like Saturday or Sunday. And then I think if I remember right, she mentioned that you and Raina, I think Rain, wanted to play. But I do want to play with her first. And so like repo this Friday would absolutely work. She seemed happy with that as well, and it would give me a reason to hang out with everyone too. I always love that. And maybe Culper is free, you know? Who knows? It opens up a new realm of possibilities. Oh. So, like, no, like, nothing's set in stone. We can definitely... I even mentioned, too, that Friday's your day. So, we'll play it by you. We'll play it by you. I'm, as far as art goes, though, if you want, we can, I can come in a little bit early for the hingies, and we can not like a long session, but we can doodle or something if you want to get that into, because I know like even in a group setting it's still a little bit different than what you were anticipating. So we'll talk about it afterwards, but just know that you're not altering or like taking away anything, you know, if that was a concern, if that's where it was coming from, you're good. And yeah I know today we have the K-pop Demon Hunters movie, which I'm like not excited about, but interested to see, I guess. But yeah, like I'm a little bit bummed too, cause like I wanted to play Path of Exile too. I wanted to play last night, but like Eggy was feeling bad, and I wanted to take care of her, and it was so cute. I took a picture of us. I didn't send it to you. But she was laying down, and she wanted like not laying down. She was like sitting down in front of the rocking chair. She's like, "Can you scratch my back?" I'm like, sure, I got you. And then she just like stayed there afterwards. So I put my legs like over her shoulder, and she was like holding on to him. We were sitting there watching something. I forget what it was. I was like, oh, this is actually a really sweet moment. So after a while, I was like, hey, can I take a picture? She's like, sure. So now I think I have like, this is maybe like the second or third like picture that's not of her being silly or sexy. So yeah, we actually have a nice picture together, kind of. I looked goofy, but I always look a little goofy. We'll be drafting Friday morning for your Corpa stuff. We need time with that. Agreed, but it's still something I wanted to offer. And I thank you, baby, for the daily coffee. Also, let me scroll back up. Miksu. Hi. Yahoy to you, Miksu. And Firehawk99. We'll have our coffees together. 1, 2, 3. How it do? It do well. It do well. Weird waking up. I think I had weird dreams. So like there's like that, that when you don't remember them, but you wake up and you kind of feel like uneasy a little bit. You just feel a little bit off. That was the start of my morning. I got pleasantly surprised. I know Aggie was mentioning like feeling a little sick last night. Like she thinks she might be getting something, but she's working from home today. So I woke up. There was fresh coffee that she had saved for me, and yeah, she was just chilling and watching TV, and I'm like, yay. So we got to chill for a very short amount of time because I woke up late. Yeah. But yeah, did that. Got my work done that I put off yesterday. And then later on today, I get to hang out with some of my favorite people in the world and watch a movie with them. And yeah, get to stream Path of Exile 2 on the gaming channel tonight. It's going to be very boring because I cannot concentrate. I've learned it with Rory. I can't talk, at least like carry on a verbal conversation. Maybe reading will be easier. But I can't talk and play that game at the same time. I tried it one day with Sue when we were on call, and I think she was playing Genshin. And I was looking at her. I got caught up in her, and I died. And I just looked away for a second. It was like literally a matter of a couple of seconds. I'm running a minion build. I'm a witch, and I didn't have great gear, but my minions like will slaughter everything. It's so cool. It's the most fun. Again, I'm going to talk about this every day. Most fun I've had. I low-key want to like sub to myself like as Tofu over there, and then like stream Path of Exile 2 as Tofu, but sub to me from the gaming channel, so I can get the chaos orbs. It's like how Baby has the or not chaos orbs, God, I forget what they're called. Exalted orb, I believe. Get that badge for Twitch, so that way everyone can see me. Like we see that Baby here is apparently a Hollow Knight's, I assume Silk Song, Steam Crash supporter, but I want everyone to know that I'm a very basic Path of Exile 2 player. I want to be that guy. Anyway, that's a very long-winded way to say that I'm doing good. I think today's going to be a good day. It's a little dark and stormy out, or it looks like it's going to start storming, so hopefully power doesn't get knocked out, but yeah, that's good. I've got a full pot of coffee that I'm slowly killing. How are you? Couples goals? I mean, listen, she said, if you're going to date me, you gotta, there's good parts to me, but I'm also a handful at times. She's put up with a lot throughout the years. Things I probably wouldn't, realistically. So, yeah, I'm just fortunate to have someone like her who helps me grow and genuinely loves me a ridiculous amount. Very, very fortunate. But yeah, there's tons of sweet moments in there too. I'm not all bad, but I'm just human. I'm filled with like good aspects and unintentionally bad aspects as well. That's life. One of my favorite photos of Carl and I is actually a selfie I took when he was sleeping, but we were camping and both our hair was crazy, but you could see us or the peace in us. Nice. Yeah. There's this one that Aggie took at the wedding reception, and like, she looks great. I hate how I look, but it's like one of the pictures where I'm like genuinely smiling. I don't smile. I don't fake smile for pictures. She'll do that all day. I hate it. It's inauthentic, and I don't understand why. I in theory I understand. You want to, oh look at us, we're having fun. We're in a picture together. Ooh, but no, if the smile's not real. If you're having to fake a smile for a picture, I don't get it in that aspect of it. I'm not going to rant about this, I swear. But, yeah, it's one of the few ones where I'm actually smiling. And I think that's why she likes it so much. But it's her phone background. And I keep forgetting. And every time, like, I see her turn on her phone for, like, the lock screen, I'm like, that's actually really cute. I'm touched. Mine is, like, a drawn picture of our OCs. I need to replace it with a different one, though. like a different, yeah, anyway. Oh well, bro. I almost thought you called me baby. It's a baby bond. It's a good little baby bond. And I'm happy that we could have, even though it was very short, that we could have that talk and clear things up. And I hope you feel okay. I hope that's, yeah. Anyway, yeah. When you still have sleep and trying to figure out reality, no, it was just like waking up and just having like that emotional response from like the dream that you can't remember that clearly was not good. I do remember like I really wanted to smoke. I woke up thinking about cigarettes, and I see the coupon there, and I told Aggie, I'm like, oh, I want cigarettes. I'm not gonna smoke, but ooh, I miss them every day. I thought about like getting a pack for the wedding, but that's probably that's how I always end up back smoking. It's like, yeah, I haven't smoked in a month, if you know, or two. It's been longer than that now, I think, but just like, yeah, we can get away with it back. We're not gonna go back to it. And then before I know it, back spending like $400 a month on cigarettes. I can't do that. I currently don't make enough with the voiceover stuff to afford to do that. So we're pushing that away for hopefully forever. Hopefully forever. It's clear skies here today. Perfect for what you have going on. Good job. Hey, you have no control of the weather, but still, good job, Stilly. It was way too sunny and hot right now, and way too cold this morning. I think with it being overcast, for me today, it's perfect. It is the perfect temperature. It feels actually cool in the room. Not even like warm like it was yesterday. It wasn't stuffy yesterday, but it was like a little warm at points. So I'm thankful. I'm glad for that. Been cloudy all day, same. I'm having an amazing day. I had a road guard for an hour at 5 a.m., so I got to sleep through formation after. I don't have class till 12, so I get to watch you and play some Minecraft. It sounds like a good morning throughout the Minecraft, and that's just a personal preference. I'm happy you enjoy it. Build something cool. Something, I don't know, that you wouldn't normally do. Do something silly in it. Please. That's some of the best stuff. That's why my husband actually kissed my forehead for photos most of the time. That's a good idea. I like it. I liked our pictures that we got from the reception. Like of us dancing. Something we've done like since early in our relationship. And I think it just happened like we were slow dancing in the kitchen just for, some reason, being silly and romantic. And I think she stepped on my foot or something like that. I really forget the reason. But now, like, whenever we do a slow dance, she stands on top of my feet, and we just kind of, like, pitter-patter around. I like it. It's our thing. It's nice. Yeah, you, me. Yeah. My lock screen is a picture of my wife leaning against a Sakura. There you go. That sounds nice. That sounds cool. Cool wife, bro. My lock screen is one of our cats in the background. And in the background. One of our first photos, actually. Nice. Yeah, I think for a long time it used to be like either her dog or Annie and Lenny when they were alive. But now I've taken over. I'm the pet. She wants to get a new cat, which I do support, but I get all the affection now. But I get all the affection. But I get all the pets. But I get all the attention. Sorry, I have to go. My Twitch is not liking you today. It happens. Buddy. It's fine. But I hope you have an awesome time zone. I think I will. I've got stories. And, yeah. We're gonna read a little bit more today than yesterday. Cackling. Love it. Bro, no worries. I was just making sure. And I was just making sure that you know that you're cared for, and that it matters to me too, and that I wasn't like pushing you aside. That there was like nothing set in stone, and it was merely a thought that was had. Yeah. It's like what we were talking about yesterday with communication and relationships. This is a relationship too, and you matter. So I want to make sure that you feel held and cared for as well, Yumi. I'm not saying any of this in like a negative way if it's coming across it. I don't think it is. Thank you. Yes, I was about to say that. Thank you very much, Yumi. The Discord is a Ko-Fi member thing. And yes, you get the Discord invite and exclusive audios for the high price of $5. F. F. Partially justifying it by, I don't want to moderate a Discord, and I don't want to already, Ayumi and Sue and Eloise already do so much for me. And I don't want to give them, or ask, not give, I don't want to ask for more moderation. So it's a way to like kind of keep bad actors out, or get $5 before kicking a bad actor out. I guess. Ugh, that sounds horrible. Oh well, I said what I said. I think it's understood. I think it's reasonable. Anyway, we have stories. Thank you, Stilly. Thank you. You got my back, and that's what matters. And to be fair, it would be like definitely a warning type thing, but I think anyone that would be interested in joining knows that things are say so here. Yeah. And to help me from collecting more unnecessary discords. Fair, okay, yeah. I think, I don't know when, as Nova for the gaming stuff, I've been thinking like of maybe streaming on the weekends, but I also like want to spend more time in that Discord. So I'm thinking like, I could just do Path of Exile or whatever I want to stream over there, like at random times with no schedule, in that Discord on the weekends, and that might be fun. So like I'm not like incredibly chatty there, but I think it would be cool to like, not necessarily plan events, but I don't know, do some stuff. I do have, it's not say so, but I do have the entire the Adult Swim version, the American version of Shin-Chan, which is the best. So I would love to do an event where we watch the entirety of it. I did think about doing it for the subathon. I don't think it's legal. I think, but I'm like, listen, maybe watching American Shin-Chan would be a horrible idea that I could do to keep myself not entertained. That's like depending on how long it goes for and what I land on. If I'm doing like the multi-day thing, just have like, yeah, the show is, dude, I love it. It's like ghost stories where like maybe there's some of the stuff in it like, would it fly today? But it's just like, it's one of those really nostalgic things for me. I remember like being a kid or like an early teen, I think, or maybe just a teen, I don't remember. It's so long ago. But like just waking up in the middle of the night and like some wacky stuff is happening with Shin-Chan. And it was one of the shows that as a kid I liked and hated at the same time. But like as an adult and like going back and watching it, I get the jokes now. And especially like, they're very much like the political ones, or like, it's one of those that has something for everyone. If you like political jokes, if you like things that make you think, it's there. If you like toilet humor and just like silly random stuff, it has that too. It's like, to me, every like high point, every point of comedy, and it's just, it's so good and so bad. It's one of those that I have a very soft spot for. And that's just, very nostalgic. Same with Bebop and Trigun. Those were ones that I would wake up and like catch. Big O too as well. And I think Big O is one I hated as a kid that I want to go back and watch now. It's just not on Crunchyroll. and I don't pirate stuff. But I would love to like see if I like Big O now, because I think I would. It had like that kind of cool, like almost like bebop-esque aesthetic, but with more like mixed with No Guns Life, if you've seen it. God, you guys make it really easy to just rant and chat about things I enjoy. But for now, we will read. Let's see how long this story is, and it's not too long. It's a little lengthy. This one is titled, "When I was a kid, everyone I know played a horrible prank on me." This is something I should probably be speaking about with a therapist. I know. I would, or I have been. But it's not really an option anymore. In fact, I couldn't tell you how many times I've told this story to various medical professionals. I'm 30 now, 20 years since it happened. I just wanted to stop. I was a pretty average kid, I think, a little weird, but as every kid is a little weird. I had an older sister. We fought like two cats. I had a couple good friends, most of whom lived on my street or one street over, and we would meet after school and play until it was time for dinner. My life was fairly ideal. I played soccer, I think. Honestly, I have a lot of trouble remembering much of my childhood. I remember that I got a Nintendo DS for my 10th birthday, and we had a big party in the backyard. Practically the whole neighborhood showed up. My birthday was just before school got out for summer, so the air buzzed with excitement, and the evening was warm and felt more alive than other nights. The grown-ups started a fire in our little fire pit, and they sat around it and drank beer while we ran around. I was also allowed to stay up past when I usually went to bed, and the other kids chased fireflies with me and roasted marshmallows until late. I remember going to bed happy, excited for summer, and exhausted. I fell asleep quickly, the peel and stick glow and the dark stars and moons shining on the ceiling above my head. Waking up the day after my birthday, something felt off. I couldn't put my finger on it. I hadn't had a nightmare. It wasn't that. I'd slept better than I could really remember ever sleeping. It was late, I realized. That must be it. My mom usually woke me up around 8 if it wasn't a school day. She said it was a good habit to be in the routine of waking up early and starting your day on the right foot. By the light streaming in from the windows and the slightly muggy heat in the room, I figured it was already 10 a.m. or so. I smiled, sliding out of bed. It must have been one final birthday tree letting me sleep in. She had let me sleep in the day before, too, of course. Although on my birthday itself, I had wanted to get up as early as possible. "Mom?" I called out into the hallway, poking my head around the door. No answer. I frowned. It was Saturday, so my dad was definitely already at work, but my mom wouldn't be. My sister wouldn't be home either. She had left the night before to spend the night at a friend's house. She was 13 now and allowed to have sleepovers, for which I was eternally jealous. I decided she must be out in the front garden. I put on a shirt and left my room. I smelled coffee, but there was none left in the pot. There were dishes in the sink, too, with remnants of eggs stuck to the pan. It wasn't necessarily alarming, but it was strange. Even on the days I slept in, there was always breakfast left over for me. I opened the front door, opening my mouth to call out to my mom, but instantly froze. Halfway up our walkway was the mailman. He was on the ground, sprawled out awkwardly on the cement, fresh blood pooled beneath him in a gruesome splatter. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't move. His limbs were bent at horrible angles, his face pointed away from me. It almost looked like some omnipotent force had lifted him into the air and then slammed him back down. The package he must have been delivering lay a few feet away, the cardboard dented and soaked red. I didn't need any confirmation he was dead. It wasn't a question. I had never seen a dead person before. Sometimes my parents had watched horror movies, but that hardly counted. I backed into the house and closed the door behind me. My mind was racing too fast, and my heart felt like it might burst out of my chest. Everything in my body was reeling, so much so that all I could do was move slowly in a faux sense of calm. "Mom?" I called out again into the silent house, my voice breaking. "Mom, are you home? Something happened outside. Mom?" No one answered. The house felt way too quiet, and all I could hear was the blood rushing in my ears. I had to brace myself against the wall as I made my way to my parents' room because I was almost shaking too hard to hold myself up. "Mom?" I pushed open the bedroom door. It creaked, the sound almost deafening against the silence that blanketed the room. Our old gray cat, Gumbo, weaseled her way through the crack and slipped out into the hallway, brushing against my leg on her way. I saw a lump in the bed, and for a moment I thought it was just pillows, but then I realized it couldn't have been. The bed was made, and all the pillows were accounted for, leaning against the headboard. "Mom, are you sleeping?" It came out as a whisper. Even though it wasn't like I had been trying not to wake her up, I wanted her awake badly. I think I just somehow already knew. Something was hanging in the air, this heaviness, like the whole world had been blanketed in a thing that was empty and hot and dead. A desert popped into my head, a place that was so far away from everything and completely devoid of anything, devoid of life. When I pulled back the covers, the shock washed over me like an electric zap. Every one of my veins and bones and muscles felt 20 degrees hotter than they should have been. There was blood everywhere. I could barely see any section of the sheets that it wasn't soaked in. It looked like cherry juice was sometimes made from the tree in our backyard, squashing the berries with our hands and laughing as the sticky syrup trickled down our wrists. Her eyes were open. Her mouth was open too. Wide open like she was about to scream. I gagged, stumbled backwards and almost falling down. My legs felt like they wouldn't work anymore. I was in a daze as I stumbled back to the kitchen, and the eggs on the pan seemed like they were mocking me now. I knew my parents had told me what to do in an emergency, but all of that was gone from me now. This didn't feel like an emergency. It felt more like a horrible nightmare, and I pinched myself on the arm just in case. The neighbors, that was it. I was supposed to call my neighbors. The number was on a sticky note next to the phone. My fingers shook as I dialed the number. They picked up after 3 rings that felt like they each took a year. I heard a sort of crackling sound like someone was moving the phone around. "Hello?" "Hi." I cleared my throat, trying to get rid of the lump firmly lodged at the back of my tongue. "This is Jackson from next door." I heard some sort of giggle, a choked one like they were trying to hold it back, and then some hushed whispering. "Hi, Jackson," the voice said. I assumed it was the mother, Miss Winston. "Is everything all right? Can I help you with something?" Something happened to my mom." "Oh, honey," Miss Winston said, her tone gentle, but something about it felt deeply off. My stomach twisted. Why don't you head over here, huh? We'll figure what's going on together. Okay. I remember hanging up before she said anything else. Something about her voice was unnerving me. Still, I didn't know where else to go. I slipped out the back door so I wouldn't have to walk past the mailman, Gumbo, watching me go. I knocked on the neighbor's door. No answer. I knocked again, still nothing. I stepped onto the flower bed, peering in through the windows, and someone was lying on the couch, their head tilted back like they were staring up at the ceiling. For a moment, that's what I thought was happening, until I saw that their chest was opened up like a patient on a surgery table, all guts and organs and blood. So much blood. It was Mr. Winston, in his sweater vest and brown dad shorts. Dead, like the mailman. Dead, like my mom. Something came over me, and I just burst through the front door. It was unlocked, which I hadn't really expected, so I went tumbling into the room, landing on my stomach, my face slamming to the floor. Face to face with Mr. Wilson. I thought it was Winston. After dyslexia this? No, they just... Okay. Face to face with Miss Wilson, who lay dead in front of the phone. Her eyes were open too. There was a fly on one of them crawling across the white, pausing every few seconds to rub its hands together. I had started to cry. It was finally hitting me that this was real. Not some dream, and I desperately wanted my mom. I scrambled to my feet, nearly throwing up when I realized my face was covered in her blood. I swiped at it with my hands, trying to wipe it away as quick as possible. Let me see what Aggie said. She's so sweet. I take my coffee as all. What's up, Sonoma? Since Crunchyroll changed the policy to make it to where you don't own what you purchase, I pirate anime and manga. Listen, it's maybe not something I should say, but I support that. That's one way to, show companies that what they're doing isn't working for you. And always vote with your wallet. That's the best thing you could do. If something doesn't stick right with you that a company's doing, that's the appropriate way to respond. Yeah. Let's see. I had started to cry. It was finally hitting me that this was real, not some dream, and I desperately wanted my mom. I scrambled to my feet, nearly throwing up when I realized my face was covered in her blood. I swiped at it with my hands, trying to wipe it away as quickly as possible. Then, instinctively, I licked my lips. Horrified, I braced myself for the coppery taste of the blood on my tongue, but it never came. It was sweet, and I hesitated, trembling incessantly before cautiously raising one of my red fingers to my lips. Sweet. Memories flooded my mind. Memories of baking with my grandmother, the sweet syrup we would sometimes pour onto the mixing bowls. It was freaking corn syrup. I ran to my father's work, which was on the other side of town. By the time I got there, I was close to passing out and drenched in sweat. But it had made it a little easier to get here with the road completely devoid of cars. There were some parked on the side of the road or every now and then in the middle of it, but none of them had people in them. Some of them had blood, thick and red and gooey blood. The nice receptionist that was always at the front desk and always gave me candy when my dad brought me in had her head against the computer. Her hair was matted with red liquid, as if someone had ripped out entire chunks of her scalp. Before I could think too hard about it, I wiped my finger across the side of her head and licked it. It was sweet too. It felt like my brain was going to break. Like I was standing on the edge of something completely incomprehensible. I shook the woman, and she flopped like a rag doll. I sobbed, shoving her, and she slumped to the ground, her head knocking against the tiles. "Wake up," I screamed at her. "I know you're not dead." She didn't move an inch, just stared, unblinking, her mouth hanging half open. I ran into the room my dad usually worked in, scanning it for his workspace. I couldn't remember where it was, just that it was around halfway back and close to the wall. In every cubicle, someone was dead. Sometimes they looked halfway peaceful as they'd been caught by surprise, but most of them were eviscerated in one way or another. Entrails hanging out, bones showing, blood sprayed against walls, even some with faces ripped clean off. It was like something unseeable had swept through the town on a rampage, but all their blood was made of corn syrup. In a brave moment, I even touched one of the organs, something that looked like a strange deflated balloon, and it jiggled, but it was more like plastic than a human body part. At one point, I swore I heard a giggle behind me. I whipped around, but no one was there. I found my dad at the water cooler, sitting against the wall, cone paper cup still gripped loosely in his hand. He stared straight ahead, blood leaking from his eyes, nose, and mouth like he had exploded from the inside. "Dad," I whispered, grabbing his shoulder. "This isn't funny. Please stop." There was a strange look on his face that I could barely make out through the red, almost like a smile someone would only make if they were trying really hard not to. I walked back home, down the middle of the road, balancing on the yellow lines to have something to focus on because I was fairly certain if I stopped walking, I wouldn't start again. When I got there, I climbed into bed and closed my eyes. I didn't know what else to do. Eventually, after what must have been hours of just lying there, I drifted off into a restless sleep. I woke up to someone shaking my shoulder. I screamed, scrambling away from them, immediately wide awake and terrified. "Whoa," my mom backed away, smiling. "Sorry, buddy, I didn't mean to scare you." I was breathing hard. I looked her over, clutching my chest. She was completely fine. She looked it, at least. She stood there in a white blouse and blue jeans, her hair tied up, like always, her eyes bright and happy. What day is it?" Her smile faded and she frowned a little. It was then that I noticed the smell of bacon wafting from the kitchen. "It's Sunday, bud. Remember?" 2 days after my birthday, so yesterday had been real. "What happened yesterday?" She placed her hand on the back of my forehead, tutting softly. "Did one of those neighborhood kids you play with get you sick, honey? Do you feel okay?" I dropped it because I didn't know what to say. I convinced myself maybe I really was sick. Maybe it had been some kind of feverish hallucination. And I was so relieved to see her. I didn't want to think about any of it anymore. I went to eat breakfast, sitting at the table between my dad and my sister, and everything was normal. "Nyahoy, nyahoy." "Well, come in. I'm happy you like it and that your bones are being shaken." But when I left the house later that day, I saw it. On the walkway leading up to our house, there was something pink on the pavement, a faint pink stain. Like something sweet and red and sticky had been recently scrubbed away. Like I said, it's been 30 years. I've been feeling like I had almost recovered from the incident. I had asked everyone I knew countless times about the day, but none of them seemed to have any idea what I was talking about. still, I had almost let it go. And it had never happened again. Not until today. Today, when I walked into my therapist's office, it seemed strangely quiet. There was usually music playing, something soothing and soft, and there were people in the waiting room at the front desk typing on a keyboard. But today, nothing. No one. Silence. I let myself into Dr. Sheldon's office, perplexed, which is when I found her dead on the carpet, her blood sprayed across the walls, even dripping from the ceiling. It was crazy. I know that, but I immediately tasted it. Sweet. I rolled her over and her eyes were open, a strange smile on her face, and this time I did something I didn't think to do as a child. I checked her pulse. She's alive. I don't know what to do. I can't believe they're doing this to me again. Do they think it's funny? This was not a great story. It was okay. It's a concept. The voice contains magic. Thank you. I'm happy you feel that way. It's like reverbs in my brain. I think that's because of the reverb. Reverb. I'm about to start floating. Hey, this is Is this a pigeon? Is this flattery? I think it is. Grab a blanket. It'll keep you on the ground with us. Oh my God, Silly, that's what wit you have. So fast, so sharp. It's 3 p.m. I can't go to sleep or grab a blanket right now. I've only just fixed my sleep schedule. But yeah, I'm like partially there. I'm sleeping a little bit too late, but I feel you there. Nap time beckons. Maybe I could sleep as well. Just rotate my model, make a little bed. There we go. It's now a sleep stream. Isn't that horrible? But nap, I ain't waking up till Saturday. Listen, last night, Egg and I took a nap after work. She apparently, and I don't remember anything about it, she apparently tried to wake me up 3 times. And each time, like, I opened my eyes and responded, I guess. And I remember the last time, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this. I was dead asleep. I'm surprised I actually managed to go to sleep last night, though. Like afterwards, after dinner and stuff. The burgers I made were underwhelming. We need bacon. We didn't have bacon. That's what I was missing. I love the model. The model is a pre-made, but our very own Mipan, one of our mods and dear friends, is in the process of working on a custom model, which is yeah, it's not going to be too different. It's just going to have more of the cafe vibe. It's going to be cool. It's going to be, I love it. And for the subathon, one of the goals that I think we're going to implement early on is to have a model reveal to show you the artwork that we're going to be working with and how I'm going to look. Yeah. Friday, we're going to be cooking. I'm going to make a rough draft tonight or Thursday, and then Ayumi will review it and flesh it out, and we're going to cook. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. I love everything here. I'm glad. That makes me happy. Good. My hard work, it's paid off. I would kill for bacon right now. Listen, I've been making baconless burgers for a week, and that doesn't fly. I told her today, I'm like, she's like, do we need anything from the store? Bacon and good buns that are not incredibly moist, please. Yeah. And let's have that sip of coffee together, just so west. 1, 2, 3. Just gotta check my phone really quick. Okay. Okay. Cool. I don't even like coffee unless it's salted caramel latte. Well, it sounds like that's what you need to get. This weekend, thanks to Stilly, they, me and Aggie and I are going to be taking it's a little bit further away than it used to be, but it's worth it. We're either going to be trying out like this new cafe that's close by, or we're going to go to the old one. And I think we're going to sit down and we're going to get our special little drinks, and yeah, just chill out and enjoy the hopefully lack of people and the ambience there. And so thank you. I did it yesterday, but I do it again today. Thank you very much, Stilly. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not gonna gush or rant, but I did that yesterday. But thank you. The waif. What's up, waif? How you doing? How you living? How's it going? This is one of the people that was here when I started the channel. Them and Seon, which I hope is doing well. I haven't seen in a bit, but I hope they're doing well. Pass my warm regards if you guys talk often. I have no clue. But just let them know, if in case you do talk, that I'm thinking about them, that they're not forgotten, and that I wish good things upon them. Please. Let's see how long this story has. Great. This is a good length. I don't want to read anything like too long. I don't know why. Seon needs good vibes. Love you, dude. Thank you. And she does. She seems like a pleasant person. I can't lie, the voice is so nice. I can't pay attention to what's being said. Listen, I'll take it. What I say generally doesn't matter. It's usually if I'm chatting like this, just a bunch of silly stuff. It's silly or sweet kind of tends to be where I go, but not unhinged. This isn't the place for unhinged. We will say so, boy. Ah, me. What's up, buddy? How you living? How you doing? Have you been baking? You been cooking? Like literally cooking? Voice is so smooth. We've definitely come. Never mind. Blah. We definitely come like a little bit of a ways with our sound. I think we're in a good spot. I think we're going to leave it unchanged for a bit. Maybe. He does a lot of rambling about how much he loves his people. Yeah. I need to just stop that and read. I think. I don't know. I will not fall asleep. I will not fall. Listen. Same. We're trying something a little different today with the sound. With like not having music and just having like the gentle rain sounds. And so I hear it back in my headphones, along with my voice. And oh man. It makes me eepy. I'm right there with you. Oh God. Oh no. Welcome back, Mixo. Welcome back. You would have loved the audio settings chat yesterday. It was a lot. Is that in real life rain? No, it's Lo-Fi Girl, one of their multiple channels that they've launched. It's gentle rain sounds. I always find the good stuff too late. I wish I got here sooner. Well, listen, I am not intending to go anywhere, so you're a wizard. Always a wizard arrives when he wishes to Harry. You're Harry, wizard. You're wizard Harry. I'm going to stop that. If it's the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, like rain is nice. I think I'll be getting some today, as long as it doesn't mess with the power or like thunder and lightning too much. I'll be fine. I got things I gotta do today. Oh, that's cool. Nice. I don't know where Harry Potter was filmed, but that's a fun bit of trivia. We're already learning about you. Let's see if my mental notes will passively keep it. I doubt it, but I hope it does. I have no control over it. Let's see. I have a little bit of coffee left, so I think we'll read this one. I think I'll run and get pour another cup afterwards. And yeah, so let's read for now. Feel free to chat. I will make sure I read most, if not all, of everything. Yeah. And also, apparently, there's the Ko-Fi stream bot. Yeah. You get Discord access and a few ASMRs. Members only ASMRs if you join the membership thing. But if you want to just visit there to get some of the free ASMR, that's also an option. I will be eventually, in time, as I keep threatening, record more. You're from the UK too? Scotland? Nice. Eggy had gone to Scotland for a writer's retreat with one of her favorite authors some years ago. And yeah, Scotland is like a place that she wants to make her home. I would be down for it. The threat is like if she ever wins the lottery or gets her book published, and like her goal, like dream goal, I think, is to like move there and obviously take me with her, which I'm very on board for. I need a reason to be there, like just in Europe. I have people I want to see, mostly in Finland and France. Yeah, it would be like I would be so much closer, and it would be cool. I don't think it's like realistic, but it could be. Like it's possible. It's possible. I wonder how that works with like telling your publisher like I need to live in Scotland to get inspiration for my book, and I think you need to handle the legal side of getting me there. I was thinking about that yesterday too. I had like a silly idea of like Sue and I are cooking something up, but like it's literally just probably a bad idea that's not realistic, but like, you know, if we start like an LLC, like just a small company, like could I get a work visa like that? Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Then I'd be like so much closer to all my friends and people that I really want to see and hang out with. It would be so neat. I could still do voice acting and do this and just, yeah. I think I'd like it. I think it'd be cool. Maybe it wouldn't. I have no clue. I'll probably just live and die in America without ever visiting anywhere though. So, you know, that's life. Threaten me for a good time? Are you telling me to threaten you? Never mind. Cities are too far from the border. Nice. A writer's retreat in Scotland sounds incredible. Yeah, she loved it. She had a great time. It gave her the push to like finish her book. As much as I'm going to miss Japan, it's going to be nice to be in Scotland again. I bet that was like a pretty big difference. I had a buddy that visited Japan for like a week or two, maybe a month, and he seemed to have a good time. He said it was like a little bit racist there, and he got like a bunch of stairs. He's a giant bodybuilder. And yeah, but he had a good time with even, you know, with that with the gaijin shit. And yeah, I guess it depends on where you go and who you meet, just like anywhere really. I moved to London for uni, but I do kind of miss my small village I used to be at. Fair. Immigration stuff is so tough. but a lot of countries have short-term visa options for work. Yeah, that's what the idea was. Sue, what's up? I'm not at all mentioning my bad idea with the LLC thing. And, yeah, the work visa thing. But yeah, the idea would be like to just continuously apply for, like reapply for the work visa stuff. And definitely, because I'm not gonna learn another language. I suck. I mean, maybe I would if I absolutely had to, but yeah. I was not, but that too. I was talking about a new member content. Yeah, listen. Part of the, like, a small part of the reason why I haven't, like, buckled down and done that is it just hasn't, it doesn't seem like something that's warmly received. I think the most downloads are 3. So it's not like, I don't know. I need to record more. And I will. But, I don't know. I think, like, part of it's like what I mentioned yesterday with wanting to write the scripts. But like, I don't want to put that sounds bad. I don't want to put the work into it if it's not going to be like, received and enjoyed. Does it make sense? Also, nyahoy. Welcome in, Opal. Right now we are lightly chatting a little bit. And, yeah, a mixture of that and reading stories. The racism is definitely tricky, but it's 99% microaggressions, and the vast majority of Japanese people are lovely. Fair. I think, again, like, it's pretty much anywhere you go as a visitor, you're gonna get some form of disdain. It's life. I'm sure the location also matters, like, maybe less so in bigger cities, unless it's Paris, from what I understand. Today's Poop on France Day. With, yeah, not really. Let's not do that. I'm just picking. I'm trying to make Sue scoff at me. That's the bad side of it, Lady here gets tired of me. She sends me packing. F. You want some praise? I did good, and I'm done with it, and I passed. Well, duh, lady. Duh. Of course you passed. You're one of the smartest people I know. You and Aggie. So smart and creative in very different ways. But yes, you did need to pray. Well, maybe, never mind. You did need to pay for it. I always praise you. I was always going to praise you, lady. I'm happy that you passed. And, like, I realize, like, in the situation, there's got to be the stress, like, involved. Of, like, oh, no. Like, the not being sure about the outcome of things. But, yeah, of course you passed. It's you big-brained mommy. My little mama. Of course you passed. And I'm so proud of you. Duh, though. You big silly. Duh. There was never a doubt. But you did so good. And, maybe if we, make some time for each other, I'll show you just how proud I am. Anyway, yes, cheer for Sue. Appreciate you guys. See, you're supported, even beyond me. What is that? Like, oh my god, okay, no, I understand exactly what that is. Yes, that would be the outcome, wouldn't it? That would definitely be the outcome, wouldn't it? I'm going to stop this and I'm going to read, okay? We have a story titled, The Rangers Warned Me Not to Look at the Man in My Peripheral Vision. I'm a photographer, so I tried to take his picture instead. We're a Say So streamer, Opal, so we don't push boundaries here. We do that on the gaming channel, which used to be a host club channel, but now we're just a gamer boy. Ooh. But yeah, we're extremely Say So, for the most part. After this, though, I'll get coffee, and apparently, my model's gonna die. And we're gonna leave it like this. This is who I am now. This is what I identify as a handsome broken model. Let's correct it. Unless it's for Sue, yeah, that's the reality of it. I'm so sorry, but I do keep things mostly say so. I think on Thursdays though I will do the little the 18 plus content warning thing. Not that it's gonna like get out of hand or anything, but I think it's you know, for the people that come here for the story readings, the softness and stuff. Yeah, just so you know what you're getting into for one day out of the week. It's never going to be like lewd or anything like that, but I tend to be my unrestrained self around her. She pulls me out of me. Probably a good call. Yeah. I just want to make sure that everyone's on board and knows what they're getting into. I think it's this is a responsible thing to do. What story are you reading today? I just read the title of it, but we read different things from r/no sleep. Oh my god. Yeah, lady. Okay. I'm going to read, and then I'm going to refill coffee. Here we go. I'm a wildlife photographer. It's a career built on patience, stillness, and the ability to become just another silent, uninteresting part of the landscape. I've spent weeks at a time utterly alone in the vast remote corners of national forests, my only companions were the whispers of the wind and the patient clicking of my camera shutter. I waited 14 hours in a camp filled, blind, motionless, just for a 3-second glimpse at a reclusive pine marten. That's how I thrive on that solitude, and how I love the deep, profound quiet of the wild. I always thought it's where I felt most myself. At least it used to be. And now the silence is the most terrifying thing I know, because it's never truly silent. And the solitude is a lie, because I am never ever truly alone. This all started 3 months ago. I was on a long-term project in a massive, sparsely populated national forest. It's a primeval sort of place full of ancient Douglas firs that tower like cathedral spires, their tops lost in perpetual mist. My goal was to capture a portfolio of the elusive Cascade red fox, a beautiful but notoriously shy creature. For the first few weeks, it was business as usual. I'd rise before dawn, hike miles into the backcountry, and set up, waiting for the forest to offer up its secrets. One evening, I got the shot I'd been dreaming of. A magnificent male fox, the color of his coat was of a dying fire, paused in a sun-dappled clearing, his head cocked, listening. The light was perfect. The composition was something else. I rattled off a dozen frames, my heart soaring with that pure electric thrill that only photographers know. Back at my base camp that night, I eagerly loaded the photos onto my laptop. I scrolled through, and there it was. The money shot. The fox was perfectly in focus, his eyes were sharp and intelligent. The background was a beautiful, soft bouquet of green and gold. It was perfect. Except for as much. In the upper right-hand corner of the frame, there was a strange vertical blur of white light. It was just out of focus, just an artifact, but it was annoying. It looked like a lens flare, but the sun was behind me. It made no sense. What's up, Don? And thank you, Simp, for the coffee. Let's have a sip together. 1, 2, 3. Also, Sue, while I'm thinking about it, what time are we going to be doing our stream? Let me know. It's not broken anymore. Great. checked the other frames. It was there. To end? No, just like, what time are we gonna start our stream tomorrow? Like the start time for me. It was there in the exact same spot in every single one. A persistent ghostly slash against the otherwise perfect image. I sighed, chalking it up to some weird internal reflection in my lens, and made a mental note to clean my gear thoroughly. And for the last time in a while, then it'll be in the afternoon. Okay. So we'll be doing that normal time tomorrow for anyone that wants to pop in. Again, we're going to issue like a little content warning, on my end at least. Just so anyone that doesn't want anything that's not say-so, like purely say-so, besides like the occasional joke or two that I'll do regularly. Yeah. Not that we're going to intentionally make things weird, but better safe than sorry. I want to take care of you. Nya nya. Nya nya. A week later, I was photographing a herd of elk by a river at dawn. Again, a perfect morning. The mist was rising off the water. The great animals were silhouetted against the nascent light. It was a primordial, beautiful scene. I took hundreds of photos. What's the gaming channel name? Can you shout that out for me, Sue, if it's not too much? And when I reviewed them later, thank you very much, lady. This much was there, a different location, different time of day, different lens, but the same vertical out-of-focus slash of white light, always in the upper corner of the periphery of the frame. Didn't even have to ask. Yeah, I almost never do. Yeah. A little warning though, that channel, I know I've said it before and I'm gonna say it every time it's mentioned. Things here are intentionally very cozy and soft and say so. There, I'm more my full self, unrestrained, unhinged, bad jokes, sussy things. So if you don't like that sort of vibe or content, I respect it, and that's why we're here. But if you don't mind it, and you want to watch me play games and sometimes get so wrapped up into what I'm doing that I forget to read chat, yeah, that's there for you. Now I was more than annoyed. I was obsessed. I thought to myself that it was a consistent technical problem, something that needed to be solved. Was it a scratch in my camera sensor, a flaw in the shutter mechanism? I spent 2 full days troubleshooting, running diagnostics, taking test shots of blank surfaces. I found nothing. My gear was, by all accounts, in perfect working order. The only way to solve it was to recreate the conditions. I went back to the clearing where I had photographed the fox. I set up my camera on a tripod in the exact same spot, at the exact same time of day. I framed the shot identically, and then I waited. My goal was to see if the flare appeared through the viewfinder before I took the picture. I sat there for hours. Still as a stone, I pressed to the camera. The sun dappled the clearing. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves. The forest was quiet. But as the afternoon wore on, a new feeling began to creep in. A low-grade primal hum of anxiety. It was the feeling of being watched. It's a sensation every creature in the wild knows. A prickling at the back of your neck, a sudden cold awareness that you are no longer just an observer, but are also the observed. I slowly, carefully scanned the tree line, my eyes searching for the glint of an eye, the twitch of an ear. I saw nothing, but the feeling grew stronger. It was coming from my side, from the very edge of my vision. I kept my head perfectly still, my breathing slow and even, but my eyes darted towards the right. And I saw it. For just a fraction of a second. It was a tall, wavering shape, like a column of heat haze. It was the shape of a man, long and thin, and it was hanging upside down from a thick, high branch of a fir tree, its form indistinct and shimmering. The moment my brain registered the impossible image, I slapped my head to look directly at it. And there was nothing there, just the tree branch empty against the sky. The forest was still. The feeling of being watched was gone. I sat there, my heart hammering against my ribs, my mouth dry. I told myself I was just overtired, that the solitude was getting to me, that I was seeing things. It was a trick of the light, a figment of sleep-deprived imagination. I packed up my gear, unnerved, and hiked back to my truck. I needed a break. I needed to see other people. I drove to the nearest ranger station, a rustic little cabin that served as the park's administrative hub. There were 2 rangers on duty, an older, grizzled man with a kind, weary face, and a younger woman. I made some small talk, bought a new map I didn't need, and then, trying to sound casual, I asked my question. "Hey, this is gonna sound weird," I started. "But have you guys ever seen, strange things out in the deep woods, like tricks of the light?" The older ranger looked up from his paperwork. He and the younger ranger exchanged a look. It was a brief, knowing glance, but it was enough. "What kind of tricks of the light are we talking about?" he asked, his voice a low, calm rumble. I felt like an idiot, but I pressed on. "Like a shape. A tall, shimmering shape of a man hanging upside down from a tree, like you only see it out of the corner of your eye." The younger ranger's friendly expression tightened. The older just sighed a long, tired sound, and leaned back in his chair. "The upside-down man," he said, and it wasn't a question. "Yeah, we've seen him. Most of the folks who spend enough time out here have." A wave of cold relief, immediately followed by a wave of colder dread, washed over me. I wasn't crazy, but that meant the thing was real. "What is it?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "I don't know," he said, shaking his head. "Don't want to know. It's just a feature of the landscape, I guess. A weird local phenomena, like a magnetic anomaly or a patch of strange fog." "But what does it do?" "Nothing," he said, leaning forward and fixing me with a serious, paternal gaze. "It does absolutely nothing. As long as you do nothing, too. That's the one and only rule, son. You see him in the corner of your eye, you keep looking straight ahead. You feel him watching you. You pretend you don't. You don't acknowledge him. You do not engage with him. And you sure as hell don't go looking for him. He's a thing you're only supposed to see by accident. You start making it on purpose. That's when you know you're getting into trouble." "Trouble?" I asked. "What kind of trouble?" "We don't know," the younger ranger chimed in, her voice tense. "No one's ever been stupid enough to find out. It's just common knowledge, a professional courtesy among those of us who work out there. You leave him alone, and he leaves you alone." I left the ranger station with my mind reeling. Their warning was stark and absolute, but they had also given me something else, a validation, and a name. The Upside-Down Man. And this much in my photos. It was a vertical shape of light, a shape like a man, hanging. It was him. My camera could see him even when I couldn't. And that's where I made my mistake. My fatal, arrogant mistake. I'm a photographer. My entire life, my entire purpose is to see things and capture them. To be told that there was something out there, a real observable phenomenon, that I was supposed to ignore? It was anathema to me. It was an irresistible challenge. And the ranger's warning was just a dare. I went back to the woods, but this time I was hunting for him. My entire methodology changed. I'd find a spot and wait, not for an animal to appear, but for that familiar prickling sensation on my skin. And the moment I felt it, I wouldn't move my head. I'd keep my eyes locked forward, but I'd raise my camera, aiming the lens not at what I was looking at, but at the periphery, at the space where I felt he was, and I'd shoot. The first photos were chilling. The vertical smudge just grew. It was a brilliant, searing slash of overexposed white light, sharp and defined. It looked like a wound in the fabric of the photograph, a tear through which a sterile, featureless light was pouring. And with every photo I took, the slash grew wider, brighter, more aggressive. It was like I was annoying it, and it was screaming back at me through my own camera. And I became possessed by it. I stopped eating properly. I barely slept. I was fueled by a manic, obsessive energy. I filled my memory card after memory card and with these impossible images. And the creature was always there, just at the edge of my sight. A shimmering, wavering promise. And I kept shooting, trying to get a clearer image, trying to resolve that blinding white light into a discernible form. Then, my camera died. I was in a deep, mossy canyon. The feeling of being watched was palpable. Heavy pressure on my right side. I raised my camera, aimed it into the periphery, and pressed the shutter. The resulting image on the small LCD screen was pure, blinding white. A completely blank frame, and I tried again. White. I aimed it at my own feet. White. I'm dressed for the day. I may or may not drop IRL pics from the day. Which Discord should I? If you want more privacy, the tofu one. If you want more publicity and like acknowledgement and stuff, probably the bigger one, the public one. Ultimately your call. Looking forward to it, and I hope you have a great and wonderful anniversary. Yeah. He had broken it, or more accurately, he had filled it. My camera could now only see the blinding, featureless light of his presence. It was useless. Any sane person would have stopped by then. They would have taken the ranger's warning to heart and gotten the hell out of there. But I wasn't sane anymore. My obsession had burned through my reason. The loss of my camera just felt like a challenge. And now, I would have to use my own eyes. I continued the hunt. I would walk through the woods until I felt the familiar presence. Then I would stop, and I would try to see him. I'd keep my head pointed forward, but I'd strain my eyes to the sides, trying to resolve the shimmering, wavering shape in my peripheral vision. I tried to hold it, to focus on it, to force it into clarity. And that's when the smudge moved from my photos to my own vision. It started out as a small, barely noticeable floater in the corner of my right eye, a tiny, translucent blur. I assumed it was an eye strain, but it didn't go away. Every time I went on one of my hunts, every time I tried to force my eyes to see the creature directly, the smudge would get a little bigger, a little more opaque. It was turning from a translucent blur into a patch of milky white fog. I was in the woods, trying to focus on the shimmering shape hanging from a distant branch, and as I strained, I saw the white fog in my own eye physically expand, spreading like a drop of milk and water. And I finally understood. With a clarity so profound and so terrifying, it felt like a physical blow. I understood what was happening. let me message Eggy really quick. She offered, we don't have a lot to eat, but she did offer to go ahead and like pop some cut up and seasoned potatoes for me. So I'm just gonna say around your lunchtime. Yeah. Yeah, she's so sweet. I told them about the picture last night and how that happened. It was that he couldn't be seen directly. His very nature was to exist at the edge of perception, and by trying to force him into the center, by trying to capture him, first with my camera and then with my own eyes, I was violating the fundamental rule of his existence. And he was fighting back. He was erasing the part of my vision that I was using to see him. He was a blind spot, a living, predatory blind spot. And he was growing and feeding on my sight. The panic that hit me was unlike anything I had ever known. It was the terror of a man realizing the weapon he has been firing is powered by his own blood. I was deep in a remote wilderness, and I was going blind. I ran. I was clumsy, stumbling, panicked flight. I tripped over roots that I couldn't see properly. Crashed through branches that seemed to come out of nowhere. The white fog in the corner of my eye seemed to pulse and swirl with every frantic beat of my heart. I finally made my way back to my truck, my body bruised and scratched, my mind a screaming wreck. I drove out of that forest and I have not been back. That was a month ago. The white patch in my vision had not gone away. I've seen 3 different ophthalmologists and a neurologist. They've run every test imaginable. My eyes, they tell me, are perfectly healthy. There's absolutely nothing physically wrong with them. They think I'm having a complex psychological episode brought on by stress and solitude. I knew it wouldn't be that easy. I thought the connection was through the photos. I thought that they were the anchor. So last week, I built a bonfire in my backyard. I took every memory card, every hard drive, every single print I had made of the white slashes, and I burned them. Watched until they were nothing but a pile of melted plastic and gray ash. I felt a sense of relief. Exorcism, if I may say. It didn't work. He's not just in the forest anymore. He followed me home. He's here with me now as I type this. Not in the room, not in the house. He's in the corner of my eye. I'll be sitting here on my couch, and I'll get that old familiar prickling sensation. And oh no, if I let my focus soften, I can see him. A tall, wavering, upside-down shape, shimmering at the very edge of my vision. Sometimes he's in the corner of the room. Sometimes when I'm outside, he's hanging from a telephone pole. He's always there. A silent, constant companion. The Rangers were right. The only rule is to ignore him. And now, this is my life. I live in a state of constant, vigilant denial. I can never turn my head too quickly. I can never let my eyes wander. I have to consciously, actively, not see the thing that is always there. Because I know that if I try to look at him, if I give in to that primal urge to face the thing that is watching me, the white fog in my eye will grow, and there is not much of my vision left to lose. So, this is my warning. If you ever find yourself in the deep, quiet places of the world, and you feel it prickling at the back of your neck, and you see something impossible just at the edge of your sight, for the love of God, pretend you didn't. Look away. Keep looking straight ahead. Some things aren't meant to be seen, and they will take everything from you to make sure you can't. I liked it. It was a nice little story. What I'm laughing at here is like this comment, and I get RP in context. This is not the context. I'm gonna read it to you. I haven't read it. Pun intended. Ayo. But like, why RP and piggyback off of someone's story? I don't. People do what they want. It's harmless, but still. Anyway, let's read it. You'll get your vision back. Don't worry. I did when it happened to me. I've never had a camera, just my own overblown sense of awareness and paranoia about being watched. When I first saw the thing, I thought I was hallucinating. And I've never done that before, so it felt like a challenge too, but not like yours. My challenge was to prove my mind was still intact. I realized pretty quickly what was going on. My left eye, just a long thin crescent of white against the far left edge, is all I suffered before I realized I had to stop. I realized some things need to be left alone. I found a different ranger, probably not the ones you spoke to, but she told me more than they told you since I had gotten farther. She was a little sympathetic, maybe because I seemed kind of crazy and obviously hadn't disturbed this thing on purpose. It took a couple months, but the white sliver faded away. I assume the same will happen to you, but it'll probably take a lot longer, half a year at least. Just be careful. He didn't stay with me as he did with you. I think you kind of pissed him off, if we're being totally honest here. But with enough time, and you repeatedly following the example not to look at him anymore, he might finally decide you've gotten the message and depart. He really is just a people watcher. He isn't directly malevolent. I assume he knows the damage he's capable of and doesn't want to overdo it. He just wants to force the message for those who don't listen. No. Don't do that. Don't try to change the narrative of someone's story and apply your own creative writing to it. Make your own thing that's, I don't know, a fan writer thing, fan art essentially over it. I don't know. I don't care much for that. I'm gonna do my first downvote. Whatever. I know it's not been too long, but I think we're gonna end for today. I got hangies today with everyone, so I want some time just like to chill out and play, eat, relax, and maybe play some Path of Exile before. But yeah, we'll be here tomorrow with Sue. It'll be a little. Well, if I remember, and I think I will, we'll put the little content warning up there. Essentially, it's just going to be us reading together and chatting with you guys too. It's one of my favorite streams that we do, and yeah. So sorry for the shorter stream, but I will see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, I'll probably be on the gaming channel tonight, playing Path of Exile. I imagine that's what we'll be doing. I'm doing a minion build. I'm not looking at guides, and I'm just kind of like figuring things out. So I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you there. Bye-bye.